Good morning, YouTube. How are you this morning? I'm pretty good. It's a little damp this morning, but not as much as it's going to be here in a little while when it starts raining really good. It is 9:45 a.m. Central Time, and I am at Gerdau, Midlothian, as I said yesterday. After we talked, at the end of the day, I headed to the house. Well, I went and parked the truck, and I headed to the house. And since my wife and stepson were not going to be home, I stopped at Hooters for dinner. I had some coupons from the Hooters loyalty app. Got me some free food. Unfortunately, it didn't include free beer, but that's okay. So I had a couple drinks and had some wings and some buffalo shrimp, and then headed to the house. Kind of weird. They without notice, the condominiums I live in, they decided to rip up the parking lot. It's concrete, not asphalt. And dig a bunch of holes and screwed up all the parking for everybody. So people, I was lucky to be able to get in and slide into a spot that I used to get into. It was right on the edge of where they were working. But my wife was going to end up having to park on the street last night. And it's just a big inconvenient mess. And I called the management and asked them about it. And they told me, well, we sent out notices. I'm like, no, you didn't. I talked to several other people in the complex, and nobody had heard about them coming in, digging holes in the concrete, putting down new slabs. What a mess. Oh well, not important. I'm here at Gerdau. I'm picking up, it's 40 feet long, 5 bundles of 40-foot beams of some type. The load is supposed to be tarped, according to the customer. I'm driving 37 miles to Fort Worth from here, and they want it tarped. That's the kind of thing I just don't understand sometimes. This stuff is made and stored outside in the elements. It's raining right now, on and off. So I'm going to load it in the rain. I'm going to secure it in the rain. It was stored in the rain, and I'm going to have to tarp it in the rain, and then drive in the rain to where it's going to go, to untarp it, unsecure it, and unload it in the rain. Makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It is going to be about an hour and a half of time for me wasted today. I mean, the load pays, obviously, but still, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. After I get this, I'm supposed to go to the Home Depot DC, drop my trailer, and put my kingpin lock on it, grab a preloaded trailer, and go up to the Frisco store that I went to last week several times. And then once that's done, I have to deadhead back to the Home Depot store, DC, drop my trailer, and pick up mine. Hopefully that will not be all I do today, because this has a 1 o'clock appointment, and it's a fixed appointment, so I need to be there at 1. By the time I get El Dorado done, my day's going to be done. Now I don't really mind that, but only 2 loads, and they're both, and one's decent, the other is cheap. And I will probably end up going home yet again. Not that I mind. I mean, I like going home. But I need something else for money. Because by the time I get done with all that, it's going to be 6 or 7 p.m. I probably won't go home. Just simply because I'll probably just heck with it. I don't know. Be too far to go back to Atomic. I don't know, maybe I'll get lucky and I'll get another load. I don't know yet. I guess we'll find out. I'm kind of rambling. That's becoming an issue lately, I think. Wait a minute. It's been an issue since I started this. So that's where we're standing right now. I'm in line. There's one truck in front of me, and another guy just pulled up behind me. TMC pulled up behind me. That's the guy from yesterday. That was 2 in front of me. That guy here at 7 didn't leave till the afternoon. Picking this up, and then we'll get over to the Home Depot, and I'll update you after a while. Good afternoon, YouTube. Where are you this afternoon? I guess I'm all right. The storms have blown through, and they're to the east of me, which is good, more or less. It is 3 p.m. Central Time, and I am at Clark Dietrich Building Supplies. Metal building supplies, it looks like. Last we talked, I was at Gerdau, Midlothian, waiting to load. That actually went pretty fast, amazingly enough. I think I sat there maybe 20 minutes waiting in line until they came and got me and swung me around the back lot, and I picked up 40-foot bundles of channel beams. Basically, they're flat with 2 edges on the side. They use them to run water channels, I guess. I don't know. And then I ran over to Fort Worth to Instech, I think it is, to deliver those. I got there. My appointment was for 1 o'clock, but I got there at 12:15, and they let me come right on in. Apparently, they set those appointments in case they get overcrowded. I did have to tarp that load. Now, I will tell you this much: it took me longer to tarp it and untarp it than it took to drive over there. It took me longer to tarp it than to drive over there. It only took me 20 minutes to untarp it. Kind of crazy. I'm not really sure why. Matter of fact, when I checked in, she saw that the load said tarp, and she asked me if I tarped it. I said, yeah. She shook her head, don't know why. I said, because y'all told us y'all wanted it tarped. She said, no, the customer who they hold it for, they're a middleman. They're a middleman of a middleman, it appears, I guess. I don't know. Well, that's all right. I got over there, and she had me untarping the main lot, and then get most of the chains off, and then just convoluted way you get back to where I was going to unload. Did all that, got back to where I was going to unload, and they pulled me into the bay, and I took the last 2 chains off, put them all away, and then waited. And waited. And waited. For about an hour and 20 minutes before they actually started. I'm not sure what they were doing. They were working. I could see them moving stuff around in the bays instead of getting the stuff off my truck. I thought maybe they were moving some things around to get the, so I could put my stuff off my truck in those spaces. That isn't it. Once I got that done, they took my stuff off and they set it right next to the trailer on the ground. When they could have done that first, I could have gone. Oh well. I got out of there at 2:15, roughly. And earlier, while I was heading, but I was going between Gerdau and Instech, I got a message telling me that my Home Depot load had been canceled. They were going to give it to somebody else, and they were going to give me this load. And I'm over here in Dallas, like I said, at Clark, and waiting in the line. I got here 5 minutes to 3, and apparently they're doing shift change, something like that. And so it's going to be a little bit. I thought maybe I might miss them because the dispatch said they stopped loading at 3, but I just read their sign. They load till 9:30 tonight. This load is going to RSI in Shreveport. We've been there before. It's due tomorrow morning, or tomorrow anytime, but it'll get there in the morning, providing I get out of here tonight. I got plenty of time, so I'm going to load this up, and I'm going to mosey my way towards Shreveport. I'm going to take my time because just east of here is a band of extremely severe thunderstorms that are creeping towards Louisiana. They just got through hammering Canton again. I don't think they got any tornadoes, but they got quarter and golf ball size hail, torrential downpour rain, and it's just that time of year, spring in Texas. So I'm gonna crawl that way. I'm gonna go to the Flying J in Greenwood, which is about 10 miles from where I will be delivering and park for the evening and the night. Once I get there, I'll pop inside and take a shower, then get something to eat at their Subway. The Italian Hero Sub is still on. That's a really good sandwich if you haven't had it. I'm not big on Subway anymore because I've eaten so much over the years, but that's a damn good sandwich. Eat that. Probably play some Ghost Recon Wildlands on my PS4, my new one, and get up early and be there at 7 when they open. I did get a question because I mentioned it the other day, and then of course I just mentioned it again. My new PS4. I went last week. I'm thinking it was Monday or Tuesday of last week. I didn't mention it in my video at the time because I didn't want my stepson to know about it. But I went and bought the new PS4.5, not the Pro, but the 4.5 Slim with the 1 terabyte hard drive to replace my 500 gig PS4 that I bought when it first came out 3 or 4 years ago. Still in great shape, still a great console, but I bought it myself a new one because it's smaller, slimmer, and has bigger storage and make it easier to move back and forth between the truck and the house. And what I did is I copied all my stuff off the old one, put it on my new one, and then wiped the old one to the factory settings, and then updated it after cleaning it up, and then gave it to my stepson as a present. He has been playing my old PS3 for a few years, and he's always whining about wanting a PS4. I thought I'd get him one eventually. He knows how it is. I'm a glutton for getting myself new stuff and passing along. You know, I do that to everybody. You know, I buy a new iPhone, my old one gets passed on to somebody else, and goes on, goes on, goes on. I still have a working iPhone 3GS. It still works. No one's using it right now, but it still works. How long ago is that? Almost 10 years. Because yeah, this is the 10th anniversary of iPhones, and I will be getting an 8 this year, and my 6 will pass down to somebody. Probably my stepson, since my wife has a 5S and she likes it and she doesn't want to upgrade. But she's going to have to soon because I think the battery and the screen's going bad. So. Oh well, I'm just kind of rambling to ramble at this point. But going to get out of here and head east. Try to keep from getting trapped in any of those storms. So I will update y'all tomorrow once I get to Shreveport. So until then, keep the shiny side up, 73s. Be safe.